Can tour operators demand an additional payment for already paid tours? Tourism explained how to behave if a trip abroad has been cancelled or is under threat of cancellation. Tour operators may ask for an additional payment for fully or partially paid foreign tours due to changed conditions of transportation, in particular, due to price increases. This was reported by the head of the Federal Tourism Agency's Irina Doguzova. In the current situation, an additional payment is usually necessary due to the changed conditions of transportation, the head of the department said. Why have flights become more expensive? As Doguzova explained, low-cost flights of Russian charter airlines had to be replaced by regular flights, including foreign airlines, due to the fact that the flight by Russian charter airlines is now impossible due to sanctions. In addition, due to the partial closure of the sky, the length of routes and flight times have increased. For example, now the flight time to Antalya from Moscow has increased by an average of 1.5 hours. All this affects the final cost of the flight, the head of the Federal Tourism Agency noted. Is it legal to pay extra for fully or partially paid tours? As for the question of the legality of the requirements for additional payment for fully or partially paid tours, Doguzova stated that in the current changed circumstances, in accordance with Article 451 of the Civil Code of the Russian Federation, modification and termination of the contract due to a significant change in circumstances, the tour operator may offer to implement a tour with an additional payment. According to Doguzova, the circumstances that have changed include, among other things, an unforeseen increase in transport tariffs, Article 10 of Federal Law No. 132 FZ of 24.11.1996 on the basics of tourist activity in the Russian Federation. If a tourist is not ready to make an additional payment, can he refuse to travel? Yes, it can. If the proposals of the tour operator on the surcharge for air transportation are not satisfied, then the tourist has the right to terminate the contract with the tour operator, cancel the tour on his own initiative. But in this case, the tourist will be obliged to reimburse the tour operator for the expenses actually incurred by him. Clause 3 of Article 781 of the Civil Code of the Russian Federation, payment for services. At the same time, the expenses actually incurred by the contractor must be documented, Doguzova added. Actual expenses include, for example, booking expenses, transfer fees, medical insurance, etc. What should I do if a trip abroad on an already paid tour cannot take place? If a trip abroad on an already paid tour cannot take place, tourists have several options. Tourism recommends, in agreement with the tour operator, to postpone the tour to other dates or change the direction of rest. In particular, you can consider the if the options offered by the tour operator still do not suit the tourist, then you can issue a refund for the tour. But at the same time, Tourism reminds, it must again be borne in mind that upon termination of the contract, you will need to reimburse the tour operator for the expenses actually incurred by him, according to paragraph 3 of Article 781 of the Civil Code of the Russian Federation.